What's going on, everyone? It's Pablo, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's perfect for anyone who's new to investing or looking for some budget-friendly options to kickstart their portfolio in 2024. We're talking about ETFs, exchange-traded funds, and how they can be your secret weapon to building wealth over time. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Investing? ETFs? That sounds complicated and expensive. But trust me, it doesn't have to be. We'll be covering 9 fantastic ETFs that are perfect for beginners, all while breaking down why they're so great and how they can fit into your investment strategy. And don't worry, we'll keep things super straightforward and easy to understand. Let's get started. First up, we've got the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, also known by its ticker symbol VOO. If you're new to investing, this ETF is the ultimate starter pack. Imagine owning tiny pieces of the biggest US companies. That's what VOO lets you do. The S&P 500 tracks the performance of 500 large US companies. By investing in VOO, you're buying into all of them at once. VOO has a super low expense ratio. This means more of your money stays invested. You don't need a ton of cash to start. Even with a small amount, you can benefit from their growth. The Vanguard S&P 500 ETF is a simple, low-cost way to start investing. We've covered the US market with VOO, but what about the rest of the world? That's where the iShares Core MSCI Total International Stock ETF, or IXUS, comes in. This ETF lets you expand your portfolio beyond the US and tap into global growth. Think about it. China, Japan, Germany, huge economies with innovative companies. By investing in IXUS, you're diversifying internationally and reducing reliance on the US market. IXUS boasts a super low expense ratio, making it affordable to own. It tracks a broad international index, giving exposure to various sectors and industries. Including IXUS with your US holdings spreads risk and boosts long-term returns. For international flavor without breaking the bank, IXUS is an excellent option. Next up, we're talking about the Schwab US Broad Market ETF, better known as SCHB. Now, SCHB is like the ultimate all-in-one package for US stocks. It's like VOO on steroids. While VOO focuses on the 500 largest companies, SCHB casts a much wider net, tracking almost the entire US stock market. We're talking about thousands of companies across all sectors, from tech giants to small businesses on the rise. This broad exposure gives you incredible diversification within the US market, ensuring you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. And just like our previous picks, SCHB comes with a ridiculously low expense ratio, making it a true bargain for investors. So, if you're looking for a single ETF that can give you comprehensive exposure to the US stock market without costing an arm and a leg, SCHB is a phenomenal choice. Let's talk about another great option for beginners, the SPDR Portfolio S&P 500 ETF, or SPLG for short. Now, you might be thinking, another S&P 500 ETF. Didn't we already cover that? And you'd be right, we did talk about VOO, which also tracks the S&P 500. But here's the thing. Competition is a beautiful thing, especially in the world of ETFs. SPLG and VOO are like two sides of the same coin, both offering exposure to the same 500 companies, but with one key difference: their expense ratios. While both are incredibly low, SPLG manages to edge out VOO by a tiny fraction. Every penny saved on fees is a penny that stays invested and working for you. Over the long term, even these tiny differences can add up to a significant amount. So if you're looking for the absolute lowest cost way to track the S&P 500, SPLG takes the crown. Alright, let's switch gears and talk about the iShares Core S&P Mid-Cap ETF, or IJH for short. Now so far, we've focused on large cap stocks, which are those massive companies like Apple and Amazon. But mid-cap stocks, which are companies with a medium market capitalization, can offer some serious growth potential too. These are companies that are past the initial startup phase, but still have plenty of room to grow and expand. IJH tracks the S&P Mid-Cap 400 Index, which comprises 400 mid-sized US companies across various sectors. By investing in IJH, you're gaining exposure to this exciting segment of the market, which historically has outperformed large cap stocks over the long term. And of course, IJH stays true to its budget-friendly theme with a super low expense ratio. So if you're looking to add some growth potential to your portfolio without straying too far from established companies, IJH is definitely worth considering. Let's talk about the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF, or VTI. Now, if you're a fan of simplicity and diversification, this ETF is about to become your new best friend. VTI is like the ultimate all-in-one package for US stocks, covering almost every publicly traded company in the country. This broad exposure means you're essentially investing in the entire US stock market with a single ETF. And because VTI tracks such a wide range of companies, it's naturally very well diversified, reducing your overall risk. So, if you're looking for a single ETF that can act as the cornerstone of your portfolio, providing broad exposure to the US market at an incredibly low cost, VTI is an absolute no-brainer. Next up, we're diving into the world of small cap stocks with the iShares Core S&P Small-Cap ETF, or IJR for short. Now, small cap stocks are like the rebellious teenagers of the stock market. They can be volatile, unpredictable, but also incredibly rewarding. And these are companies that are still in their early stages of growth, full of potential, but also carrying a higher risk compared to their larger counterparts. IJR specifically tracks the S&P Small-Cap 600 Index, which comprises 600 small-sized US companies. Investing in small-cap stocks can be a bit like riding a roller coaster. There will be ups and downs, but the potential for outsized returns is what makes it so enticing. By investing in IJR, you're essentially diversifying your risk across hundreds of small-cap companies, increasing your chances of hitting those home runs. So, if you're looking to add a dash of high-growth potential to your portfolio, and don't mind a bit of a wild ride, IJR is worth a closer look. Let's revisit the world of international investing with the Schwab International Equity ETF, or SCHF. Now, we already talked about IXUS, which covers international stocks, but SCHF takes a slightly different approach. While IXUS includes both developed and emerging markets, SCHF focuses specifically on developed markets outside the US. Think countries like Canada, the UK, Japan, and Australia. Economies that are generally considered more stable and less volatile than emerging markets. This focus on developed markets makes SCHF a potentially less risky option for international exposure. Although it's important to remember that all investments come with some level of risk. So, if you're looking to diversify your portfolio geographically and prefer to stick with more established markets, SCHF is definitely worth checking out. Last but not least, let's talk about the SPDR Portfolio Aggregate Bond ETF, or SPAB. Now, so far we've focused mainly on stocks, which are great for growth potential, but a well-balanced portfolio also includes bonds, which are like the responsible older sibling of stocks. They might not be as flashy or exciting, but they provide stability and balance, especially during times when the stock market gets a bit crazy. SPAB is like the ultimate all-in-one package for bonds, tracking a broad index of US investment-grade bonds. Investing in bonds is like having a safety net for your portfolio. And just like all the other ETFs we've discussed, SPAB comes with a super low expense ratio, making it a very affordable way to add some bond exposure to your portfolio. So, there you have it. 9 incredible ETFs that are perfect for first-time investors or anyone looking for budget-friendly options to build a diversified portfolio. Remember, investing doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. With ETFs, you can get started with a small amount of money and benefit from the growth of hundreds or even thousands of companies worldwide. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more investing tips and tricks. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your investing journey.